Hi, Cancer and Cancer Rising. Here's your horoscope for November 2024. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, we're towards the end of the year, and there's a lot of activity going on. We just came through two eclipses, two very powerful eclipses that are beginning to shape your world or reshape your world in some way. We had the Pisces lunar eclipse up in the 9th house, which is about letting go and coming to realizations. And then we had, last month, we had the 4th house solar eclipse in Libra, which absolutely has to do with your home feeling and foundation. So many of you are considering moving or getting a roommate or remodeling or something to do with your family is definitely on the table for the next 6 months, because that's how eclipses work. Now this month, we have some really strong alignments that continue between Mars and Pluto, and will be exact on November the 3rd. So many of you are feeling this tension, either with a partnership or a relationship, or a lack of relationship in a partnership, or somebody from the past that keeps resurfacing or coming to mind. So you need to be very careful this month, because it's a very tricky month. Mercury will be going retrograde. At the same time, we're going to have a new moon in Scorpio. So what that is suggesting is somebody new maybe coming into your life, or something to do with your children. Maybe they're getting married, maybe you're moving out, maybe they're moving in. You know, the dynamics are very strong in that regard. But Mars will be leaving your sign and going into Leo, and your focus will absolutely be on career also this month. So that's very, very strong. We also have a full moon this month that's going to be conjunct unpredictable Uranus. So this has to do with the future. It has to do with community. It has to do with acquaintances. It has to do with your hopes and wishes for the future. And there could be plenty of surprises this month. That's all I could say. And some are good, some not so good. We know we're going through some massive changes. If you live in the United States, of course, this is the month for the election. So there may be a lot of turbulence around that nonsense. So we'll have to see how it plays itself out. But as we start the month, it's always a good time when the sun is going through Scorpio. That's another water sign like yours. We have two other planets in water signs, and Saturn will move forward this month, which is going to help you out a lot as well. So as we start off the month, we have that Mars opposing Pluto. This is probably the most tension-filled astrology alignment that we have. Mars is about aggression and anger and conflict, and Pluto is about death and rebirth and transformation and psychological, change. And so we have this going on here. So maybe you're counseling someone, maybe you're needing counseling, maybe you're talking to your children about, the changes that are going on in the world. Maybe there's a partnership that you just can't let go of, or this person can't let go of you. That's a possibility here as well. It really depends on your own personal situation. Now, this reading's for anyone who has a Cancer rising or has a Cancer sun sign. It is a very general overview, because this is based in tropical whole house Western astrology, and it's just a sun sign reading. And everybody's birth chart is different, with different alignments, different placements, different rising signs, and different birthdays. So this has to be a very general overview, okay? So anyway, let's dive in and see what it looks like. So the new moon in Scorpio highlights this 5th house of love, speculation, romance, playfulness, having fun. It's going to be at 9 degrees of Scorpio. So wherever that is in your birth chart, that's the area you want to take a look at. And so this is going to be favorably aligned to Saturn, which suggests some sort of relationship or agreement, or having some more fun, or something to do with your child, because the 5th house could represent children as well. And so there's something new that's coming into being here with a current relationship, or a relationship with an extended family member, maybe something about the future, possibly a move, but whatever it is, the new moon in Scorpio is always more playful for you guys. So take advantage of the opportunities to, have some more fun and to engage in something different and that you haven't done before, in order to experience that, you see. So this new moon in Scorpio will give you that opportunity. Just don't overthink things too much. Now, on the 2nd, Mercury enters Sagittarius right there. Now, Mercury in Sagittarius is very quick-witted. It's very sharp. It speaks its mind. It's going into your 6th house of health and service and daily routine. So now you're ramping up this part of your chart. So either you're focusing a lot of your attention on other people's well-being or your own health, or maybe you're thinking about changing up your diet and exercise program. That's all on the table with Mercury going through this part of your chart. Now, Venus is already there, so you should be really busy with work or whatever you have going on. Maybe you own a business. This should be a very important time for many of you. And so take advantage of this when Mercury's going through here. By the way, Mercury is going to go retrograde by the end of the month and will stay unusually long in the 6th house. So you'll be looking at all the small details for the next couple of months and revamping, revisiting everything because of this Mercury going retrograde in this part of your chart. Not a big deal. It's Mercury in Sagittarius, which tends to be a little bit more optimistic. Now, this is the big alignment at the beginning of the month, Mars opposing Pluto. There's Mars at 29 degrees at 59 minutes past the hour. There's Pluto at 29 degrees at 46 past the hour. It actually is exact at about 6:30 in the morning. And so this is going to be a very tension-filled energy. So this entire day, we could be, witnessing craziness in the world. We could be feeling a little bit more edgier than normal. People are on edge and they're like, just having issues with anger and frustration. Don't direct them towards you, is what I'm suggesting here, Cancer and Cancer rising. A lot of people are losing their grip on reality, and I'm just suggesting to people that hear me, don't be one of them, okay? But the energy is very strong here on the 3rd, and as you can see, it's right before the election in the United States, so that's going to be one hell of a show as well as we go into that nonsense. Mars enters Leo on the 4th, right there. Now, Mars is in a better position in Leo. It's a lot stronger, even though you're a Cancer and Cancer rising, but it likes to be in Leo because it's another fire sign like Mars is. And so now you're determined, you're driven to want to accomplish more, to want more, the financial side of things, the creative side of things. This is a very creative alignment. So you might be involved in art or expressing yourself in some way. So over the next 6 weeks, that's Mars is going to be going through the 2nd house. It's a great opportunity to increase the bottom line, to express yourself, to write, to do film, whatever works for you. Okay? It's needing more attention and being more playful. So between the new moon and Mars going into Leo, this can be a very playful month for many of you if you play your cards right. Okay? So take advantage of that as Mars goes through Leo. We also have Venus entering Capricorn on the 11th. Now, this is your opposite sign. So socializing, relationships, business or personal, are being highlighted now. And this will last about 5 weeks or so, going through the 7th house. So anything to do with romance or anything to do with other people and engaging in conversation or going out to dinner or, being more involved in business with a partner, this is all being highlighted. So take advantage of it as Venus makes its way through this part of your chart. Okay, so I'm seeing some real positive stuff coming out of this. It's just those first 3 or 4 days that looks really tricky. But you have to adapt. Remember, this is a time where there's great change taking place in society, and so we have to adapt accordingly. Now, Saturn goes direct in Pisces right there on the 15th. It's in stationary position. Now, this is going to move forward again, and that's going to help out a lot because this has to do with your future. It has to do with travel. It has to do with learning, exploring the meaning of life. And so when Saturn's moving forward, there's a tendency to think bigger and, move in a new direction or wanting to explore things that are happening in politics or religion or whatever, your astrology, your actual birth chart says. This is going to highlight all of that energy coming in. So it's better to have it direct. And it's in Pisces, another water sign like yours. So take advantage of that as well. Now, the same day, the full moon in Taurus highlights that 11th house. So this is going to bring some sort of realization to a relationship, a situation, a community, hopes and wishes for the future, maybe even a financial matter because Taurus is the financial sign. So we may have some surprises in the mix here around this time with this full moon. Nothing to be overly concerned about, but it could relate to the economy, it could relate to the banks, it could relate to your local community, and what's going on there. It really depends on what happens with this election, in the United States. If you don't live in the United States, you still will feel this coming from, people around you, organizations, maybe a friendship that just, the person just acts so weird. You're like, what the hell is this person doing? It's anything to do with surprises, because Uranus is all about surprises. Now, Pluto enters Aquarius on the 19th. Now, this is huge because Pluto is going to stay in your 8th house for the next 18 and a half years. That's right, 18 and a half years. It will no longer go back into Capricorn. And so during this time, Pluto in Aquarius is going to have you thinking very deeply. It's going to help transform some of your fears and doubts. It's going to make you more secretive. It's going to make you more like, leave me alone kind of mindset from time to time. But make no mistake, this is going to give you great intuition. It's going to give you greater psychic powers. It's going to give you visionary ability, because Aquarius is about the future. It's very visionary. Okay? So this is going to be a very powerful time where there's a lot of psychological changes that are taking place. Now, on the 21st and the 22nd, the sun enters Sagittarius right there. And it goes into your 6th house of daily routine and health and service. This is a great time for exercising, changing your diet, taking care of others, maybe your pets, welfare in terms of your own welfare and your family's welfare. So as the sun makes its way through the 6th house, it's a kind of happy-go-lucky kind of alignment for many of you. So maybe you're enjoying your work and you're like really pleased at what you're doing and you're taking advantage of it. And, you're feeling stronger and healthier and more optimistic. So I say take advantage of it as that sun makes its way through Sagittarius. And last but not least, we got that Mercury going retrograde. There it is in stationary position. It'll be retrograde for several weeks, 3 weeks, and then it'll move forward again, but it'll stay in Sagittarius the whole time. So something from the past is you're revisiting, whether it's a job, whether it's an exercise program, whether it's your health. Maybe there's a pet that you wanted to always get and you wind up getting it. But it's a time to review, revise, and revisit. That's all it means. But fortunately, it's in Sagittarius, which is not a big deal. It's much easier to have Mercury in Sagittarius retrograde than some of the other alignments. And so you're still feeling optimistic, but you're revisiting the past. Okay, that's how it works. Anyway, there you have it. I've started a new program where I'm going to be doing monthly extended astrology readings. And so I'm only going to be doing those in the Inner Circle community. So if you're interested in learning more about this month and in the Inner Circle, I also do weekly astrology. I give you a weekly astrology overview. I also teach astrology in the community. Twice a month on the Zoom calls, I teach astrology. We also do astrology, overview for celebrities and events that are going on. So every week there's a Zoom call and where, you can learn a lot about what's going on in the world. And I talk a lot more freely there about what's happening. I've made predictions on there that I have not shared with the public. And so I hope you consider joining the Inner Circle, because there's a lot more information there than I could put out on these platforms. All right? I left the link down below. I look forward to seeing you there. Have a great month. Talk to you soon.